Before the world moves, move within. Each morning, your first battle is not with the day, but with the noise inside. Stand still, breathe deep, and speak truth to your own heart. These are not just words, they are weapons, shields, and the compass for your path. In the quiet of dawn, shape your mind as a sword, sharp, unshakable, and ready. Here are 12 powerful things to tell yourself every morning, not to escape the storm, but to learn how to walk through it. Before you tell yourself anything in the morning, before you reach for your phone, before you even start thinking about what the day might bring, there is something far more important. Be still. Most people wake up and immediately let the noise of the world rush in. Notifications, messages, unfinished tasks from yesterday, all fighting to enter your mind before you've even taken your first breath of the day. And if you allow it, you spend the rest of the day reacting, never truly leading yourself. The first battle you face each morning is not with the day ahead, not with other people, not even with circumstances. It is with the noise inside your own mind. And you cannot fight noise with more noise. You fight it with stillness. Stillness is not the absence of movement. It's the presence of awareness. It is the moment when your mind becomes like calm water, smooth enough to see clearly into its depths. Without that calmness, the reflection is distorted and you mistake ripples for reality. So when you wake up, sit for a moment. Do not rush. Feel your breath, slow and steady. Let your thoughts arrive and pass like clouds moving across the sky. Do not chase them. Do not judge them. Just notice, this is not about wasting time. This is about claiming your mind before the world tries to claim it for you. If you do not take ownership of those first few minutes, everything that follows will be dictated by whatever or whoever gets your attention first. Some will say, I don't have time for this. But you do. You have time to scroll. You have time to check messages. You have time to think about things that have not yet happened. Stillness requires less time than you imagine, but it gives you more time than you could ever buy. Because it gives you clarity. And clarity allows you to move through the day without wasting energy on distractions that do not serve you. When you are still, you begin to hear something that is often drowned out by the noise, your own inner voice. Not the one shaped by fear, comparison, or doubt, but the one that knows exactly who you are and what you need to do. It speaks quietly. This is why the morning is so important, because the quietest voice can only be heard when everything else is silent. Make this stillness your first ritual, not coffee, not emails, not even planning. The first thing is to return to yourself. If you can master this one habit, all the other affirmations, all the other powerful things you tell yourself will come from a place of truth rather than from a place of reaction. If you wake up and start running before you know which direction you're heading, you may run fast, but you will not arrive anywhere worth being. Stillness is where you choose your direction before you take your first step. So tomorrow morning, when the alarm rings, resist the urge to rush. Sit up, breathe, let the world wait for you. In those few minutes, you are not avoiding life. You are preparing yourself to meet it fully. And when you finally stand, you do so with a mind that is calm, a heart that is ready, and a spirit that is unshakable. Begin within, and the world will follow. When stillness has opened that quiet space inside you, the next step is to fill it with the right words. And the first words you must place there each morning are words of strength. Strength is not something you find lying on the ground. You cannot buy it, borrow it, or wait for someone to give it to you. Strength is built, brick by brick, through the choices you make every day. And it begins with how you speak to yourself. If you wake up and tell yourself, I'm tired, I don't think I can handle today, then your mind will believe you and your body will follow. But if you wake up and affirm, I have what it takes, I will carry today's weight with purpose, something changes. Your posture changes. Your breathing changes. Even the way you walk into the day changes. The words you say to yourself are like the first stone you place in the foundation of your day. Place it with weakness, and the whole structure wobbles. Place it with strength, and the rest of your day builds upon something solid. Now, when I speak about strength, I am not talking about forcing yourself to be unshakable at all times. True strength is not pretending you have no fear, no pain, no doubt. True strength is acknowledging all of those things and moving forward anyway. It's easy to be confident when life is smooth. But the mornings that matter most are the ones when you wake up already feeling the weight of the day ahead. Those are the days when the way you speak to yourself will decide whether you break under that weight or carry it. So every morning before the outside world places its labels on you, Before you are an employee, a parent, a leader, a student, you must remind yourself who you are on the inside. Not who you are in the eyes of others, but who you are when everything else is stripped away. Maybe your words are, I am capable, or I will face whatever comes with courage, or I am stronger than the storms that meet me. The exact sentence is less important than the truth it carries for you. There will be mornings when your mind resists this, when it says you're lying to yourself, you're not strong today. This is when you must understand that strength is not a feeling, it is a choice. You can choose to stand even when you do not feel ready, and if you choose it enough times, the feeling will eventually catch up to the choice. Think of it like training a muscle. The first few times you lift, it feels awkward and heavy, but with each repetition, you grow. Strength of mind works the same way. The repetition is in your words, and the weight you lift is the challenges you face. But there is something important here. When you speak strength into yourself each morning, you are not just preparing for the easy hours. You are preparing for the moments when you will want to quit, when fear will tell you to turn back, when doubt will whisper that you can't. Those are the moments you have already trained for, before the sun even rose. And so, each morning once the stillness has done its work, stand in that silence for just a moment longer, and affirm this to yourself: I will not be broken by what lies ahead. I have already decided who I am, and I am strong enough to carry it through, because in the end, the world cannot take from you what you have already claimed within. Carry yourself before you carry the day. When you have claimed your stillness and spoken strength into your heart, there is one more thing you must do before stepping into the day. You must remember why you are stepping into it at all. Because without purpose you can have stillness, you can have strength, but you will still drift. Imagine a ship with perfect balance and powerful sails, yet no destination. It will move, yes, but it will wander. And sometimes wandering can feel like progress until you realize you have circled the same waters for years. This is why each morning you must reconnect with your purpose. Purpose is not something you find once and never touch again. It's not a plaque you hang on the wall and forget about. Purpose fades if you do not keep it alive, and life has a way of burying it under obligations, distractions, and the noise of other people's expectations. If you are not careful, you wake up one day realizing that you are living on autopilot. Your feet are moving, but not towards anything that truly matters to you. So each morning ask yourself one question: why? Why am I doing what I am doing today? Why am I walking into that job, that classroom, that meeting, that training? Why am I pursuing the goals I've chosen? The answer does not have to be grand. You do not need to save the world before breakfast, but it must be real. It must come from you, not from what others have told you is important. Some mornings, your purpose will be large. I am building something that will last beyond my lifetime. Other mornings, it may be small. I am going to take one step toward the person I want to become. And that is enough, because purpose is not about size, it's about direction. Even a single step is powerful if it is in the right direction. Here's something important to remember when you lose sight of your purpose. Challenges feel heavier and victories feel emptier. You can work hard all day and still feel unfulfilled if you are working for the wrong reason or no reason at all. But when you know your purpose, you can endure the most difficult seasons without breaking. Because you are not just moving, you are moving towards something that matters deeply to you. Purpose also has another effect. It sharpens your choices. When you are clear on your why, it becomes much easier to say no to things that do not serve it. You stop wasting energy on paths that lead nowhere. You stop fighting battles that are not yours to fight. So tomorrow morning, before you start the day, take a moment to remind yourself, this is where I am going. This is why I am walking there. Even if the path is long, even if the steps are slow, even if no one else understands it. And here's the truth, your purpose will not always be the same. As you grow, it will shift, evolve, take new forms. That is natural. What matters is that you keep checking in with it, so that when it changes, you change with it. Because the most dangerous thing is not to fail at your purpose. The most dangerous thing is to succeed at something that was never yours to begin with. So before you rush into the world, sit in that stillness you have claimed, stand in the strength you have spoken, and then set your compass. The day will try to pull you in many directions, but if you have chosen your own, you will always find your way back. Move with purpose, or you are only moving in circles. Once you have found stillness, spoken strength into your heart, and set your compass toward your purpose, there is something else that must fill your morning before the day truly begins: gratitude. Gratitude is not just a polite thought. It is not a list you write once a year when you feel inspired. Gratitude is a state of being, a way of seeing. And the morning is the perfect time to see clearly. Here's why. The mind, left on its own, often wakes up hungry for what it does not have. It looks at what is missing before it notices what is already present. If you are not careful, you will spend your entire day chasing something, believing that happiness is always one step ahead. Gratitude interrupts that chase. It reminds you that you already stand in the middle of things worth holding. When you wake and take a moment to acknowledge even one thing you are thankful for, you change your relationship with the day ahead. You are no longer starting from a place of lack. You are starting from a place of abundance. Some people hear this and think gratitude means ignoring your struggles, but that is not gratitude. True gratitude is not pretending life is perfect. It is recognizing that even in imperfection, there are treasures you would not trade. The truth is, gratitude is a form of strength. A grateful mind is harder to break because it sees beyond what is going wrong. When you focus only on problems, they grow heavy. When you balance them with what is good, you carry them more easily. You might be thinking, but some mornings I can't find anything to be grateful for. If that is your thought, I understand. There are days when life feels like it has taken more than it has given. On those mornings, you must look smaller. Be grateful for the breath you just took. Be grateful for the fact you can still choose your next step. Be grateful for the sky you woke up under, even if it's covered in clouds. Gratitude does not always need to be profound. It just needs to be sincere. And here's something powerful: the more you practice it, the more you will see. Gratitude is like training your eyes to notice color in a world you thought was gray. At first, you see only one shade, but with time, you begin to notice hundreds. The morning is when you decide which lens you will wear for the day. If you put on the lens of complaint, the world will show you endless reasons to be dissatisfied. If you put on the lens of gratitude, the world will reveal more reasons to keep going. It's not about denying difficulty. It's about choosing which truth will guide you. The truth that you are missing something, or the truth that you already have something worth holding on to. So tomorrow morning, after you have sat in stillness, claimed your strength, and spoken your purpose, take a breath and name one thing you are grateful for. Then let that thought fill you, not as a passing idea, but as a deep reminder: even if nothing else changes today, I already have enough to begin. Gratitude is not weakness. It is a shield. It protects your mind from being consumed by what it lacks. It protects your heart from growing bitter when life tests you. And it protects your purpose from being buried under frustration. The day will give you challenges. Gratitude gives you the ground to stand on while you meet them. Start with thanks and the day will meet you differently. When you wake with stillness, when you speak strength into yourself, when you anchor in purpose and gratitude, there's a temptation that quietly waits in the shadows. It's the voice that says, now you must be perfect. This is the trap. Perfection is a mirage. You can walk toward it for your entire life, but it will always remain just out of reach. And if you spend your days chasing it, you will pass right by the things that actually matter: growth, progress, resilience. Instead of asking yourself to be perfect each morning, commit to something far more powerful: becoming better than you were yesterday. This is the path of mastery, not flawless performance, but steady refinement. Each day, one small adjustment, one lesson learned, one step forward. Some people fear this idea because it feels too slow. They want instant transformation. But think of a tree. You do not stand over it demanding it to grow 3 meters in a day. You water it. You give it light. You protect it from harm. And because of that quiet, patient care, it becomes unshakable. You are no different. When you wake and tell yourself, I will be better than I was yesterday, you release yourself from the chains of perfection. You allow space for mistakes, not as signs of failure, but as teachers. You begin to see the value in the process, not just the result. There's something freeing about this mindset. When you stop trying to be perfect, you stop living in fear of failure. And when you stop fearing failure, you take more action. And when you take more action, you grow faster than you ever could by standing still, waiting for the perfect moment. Here is the truth. Progress is not always obvious in the moment. You might not feel different day to day, but over time, the changes compound. A small improvement repeated daily creates a transformation that perfection could never achieve, because perfection would have stopped you before you even began. In the morning, This commitment to growth sets the tone for everything else. If a challenge comes, you no longer see it as proof you are not good enough, you see it as a chance to become better. If a mistake happens, you don't collapse under it, you study it, adjust, and continue. This is how martial artists train, this is how musicians practice, this is how craftsmen create. Not by seeking flawless days, but by collecting thousands of imperfect days, each one carrying a lesson, until the skill becomes part of who they are. If you can speak this truth to yourself each morning, I am here to grow, not to be perfect. You also give permission for compassion. You begin to treat yourself as a student, not as an unworthy judge of your own worth. And when you are patient with yourself, you become more patient with others. Do not confuse this with complacency. Growth still requires effort. It requires honesty about where you are and discipline to take the next step. But the weight you carry is different. It is no longer the crushing expectation of flawlessness. It is the motivating responsibility of improvement. So tomorrow morning, when the thought of perfection whispers in your ear, let it pass. Replace it with a better thought. Today I will learn something. Today I will take one step further. Today I will be a little stronger, a little wiser, a little kinder than I was before. Because if you do that, you will not need to chase perfection. Your life will shape itself into something far more real. Better is possible today. Perfect is never. When you have found your stillness, claimed your strength, remembered your purpose, grounded yourself in gratitude, and committed to growth, there is one final mindset to carry into the morning. Embrace the day's challenges. Not tolerate them, not survive them. Embrace them. Most people wake up hoping the day will be easy. They pray for no surprises, no resistance, no setbacks. But the truth is, ease rarely makes you stronger. It's the resistance, the uphill climbs, the unexpected storms that shape the person you become. You cannot train for life in a room without obstacles, and you cannot discover the depth of your spirit in a day that asks nothing of it. Think of any skill you've ever built, any strength you've ever developed. It didn't come from comfort. It came from friction. The runner grows faster by running against the wind. The blade becomes sharper by meeting the grindstone. The mind becomes stronger by meeting situations it does not yet know how to solve. So when the day places challenges in your path, you have a choice. You can see them as proof the world is against you, or you can see them as the very training you asked for when you said you wanted to grow. This is not just about surviving hardship. It's about transforming your relationship with it. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this here to teach me? That one shift turns frustration into fuel. Some mornings, the challenge will be small, an unexpected delay, a conversation you'd rather avoid. Other mornings it will be heavy, loss, uncertainty, the kind of change that shakes your foundation. In both cases, the mindset is the same. You lean into it. Meet it as you would a sparring partner, not as an enemy to destroy you, but as a test to refine you. This does not mean you will enjoy every challenge. It does not mean you will smile through pain. It means you understand that resistance is not the enemy. Stagnation is. When you embrace challenges, you start to see them differently. A difficult person becomes an opportunity to practice patience. A failed plan becomes an opportunity to sharpen your strategy. A moment of fear becomes an opportunity to train your courage. The morning is when you decide how you will meet these moments. If you wait until the challenge arrives to set your attitude, you may be too deep in reaction to choose wisely. But if you decide early, before you even leave your home, that challenges will not break you, you step into the day already prepared. Here's something powerful to remember. The day will not ask you for more than you are capable of giving. It may ask for more than you are comfortable giving, but comfort and capability are not the same. And every time you give more than you thought you could, that boundary moves further out. So tomorrow morning, after your stillness, after your strength, after your purpose, gratitude, and commitment to growth, take a deep breath and tell yourself, whatever comes, I will meet it. Not with fear, but with readiness. Because each challenge you face is not just something to get through, it is something to grow from. The struggle itself becomes part of your training, part of your shaping, part of the story you will one day tell about how you became who you are. Stop wishing for easier days. Start wishing for the strength to meet the days you have. That wish is always within your reach. Because the moment you decide to embrace the challenge, you've already begun to meet it. Welcome the storm. That's where your next self is waiting. The moment you open your eyes, the battle begins. Not out there, In here, the thoughts you choose in those first minutes will decide whether you lead the day or get dragged by it. Most people hand their mornings over to stress, to doubt, to the leftover weight of yesterday. But you are not most people. Every sunrise is a reset, a chance to plant the words that will shape your actions, your mindset, your life. These are not empty affirmations. They are weapons, shields, and fuel. Here are 12 things to tell yourself before the world tells you who to be. The morning is not just the start of your day. It is the forge where your mindset is shaped. What you say to yourself before the world speaks will decide how you walk, how you fight, and how you rise. These 12 truths are not a checklist. They are a daily discipline. Practice them until they are no longer words you repeat, but truths you live. Tomorrow, when the sun rises, meet it with stillness, with strength, with purpose. Do not wait for the day to shape you. Shape the day yourself. The first victory is always within. Claim it.